find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a whoa! White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Santi getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga before he's hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick on the Linky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Blue manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the CGL Season 16 playoffs here in North America. We head to our North American Masters tier, to the lower semifinals of our playoff bracket. Vesuvius, or rather, not Vesuvius, I'm insane. It's Visored versus Low Ground Main. Soab, this was your home for the season while you were playing. You ready to get this one going?
Yeah. I say reluctantly for my gold self it was, but I will tell you, Fletch, that this tier could be anything. I know for a fact that Visored and Low Ground Main both being in the lower tier actually surprises me, but I don't think anything is surprising me. But what was surprising was the previous game, actually. I sure didn't see it coming from the EU side of the night here.
Yeah, 4-0 Brazorect versus Herders Heiches. They told me my pronunciation was okay when I talked to them the last time, but unfortunately could not come up with it here this afternoon. Brazorect, the champions of that tier. Of course, this is the only game going on here tonight to move on into that top 3. Get a quick look at our bracket. The winner of this match will go up against the loser of the Fallen versus Atlas Kesku up there in that winners finals. So trying to keep their season alive. I mean, Visored, you look up into where both of these teams lost in round number 1 here and making a run for it. One of these teams guaranteed top 3, so an incredible run for these teams. But, of course, both of them want to keep it going.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, Fletch, both of these teams were very, very high in the standings coming into this. So back in winners round 1 section, we saw a lot of upsets. So, both of these guys are looking for kind of that way to fight back up against either Atlas or I believe I missed their opponents there. But they have been fighting for this. They've had to fight since that loss in round 1 by arguably upsets. So this division in particular, this Masters teams, it's going to be hard. I'd love to say this is an easy predict game. It's just not.
I mean, that's the best way to have it, right?
Yeah.
I love having these unpredictable matchups. It's always so fun to see, what these teams' plans are against each other. So now as we head into this first map, it's going to be Oasis here, Soab, and that's not like one of the maps that we tend to see at the beginning of a series here in the playoffs. It's usually either Lijiang Tower 70% of the time, 20-25% of the time we'll go to Busan. Oasis and I can't even remember the last control map in the pool. But both those and Oasis have not been particularly favored.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. I think I'm not really sure who gets the the map pick because both of these teams fell at the same time.
Yeah. Visored is
Visored-
technically the hired seed, so they will get
So-
the pick. They have the pick of that.
So potentially like an ace in the hole type of map, Oasis.
Yeah, low ground main get the first ban since that was the choice of Visored, so they opted to see what the response was going to be. So my guess here, just from the map and then follow-up ban, is that Visored going to Oasis tells me they want to be playing more divey things, which kind of reflects well for as we've seen them through the season. And low ground main are taking out the Reaper, which tell me they want to not deal with those kinds of aggressive Zarya comps, those kinds of brawl comps. So I think this actually kind of does work out for low ground main, since for low ground main since they are. That would work out for Visored. Visored's response here, my assumption is going to be either maybe like get rid of a very like kind of a piece that's going to be a bit of a pain, like the Diva or the Kiriko maybe earlier, or just do something insane like get rid of the Lucio and force us into poke territory. Both of those things really do kind of lead to Visored's hit scans kind of showing up and doing a lot of work.
Just waiting for Visored to ban out here. I'm curious, it's gonna be the Juno. Okay, so not quite going the way that you expected it to go here. The Juno out.
Well, but Juno did get Juno did get a bunch of changes and fixes and get a lot of buffs out of it. We also did just see like that double flex support backlines. If you've been watching OWCS, like I know you have, that we've seen quite a lot of Juno. So that is I think that's a reasonable fear if you are Visored, especially because when you look at who is in their team and who wants to play, like Juno is very, very good now with the ult at creating a defensive setup.
First up here, we have Visored as we get a look at our rosters. Ethan, easy clap onto that DPS line. Alex, the carry on the tank. Scraggy and Shadow Killa in that back line, just like the team across from them in this bracket. Fell short early, but a strong surge through the lower bracket, looking to push through to top 3 and even further potentially in it to the finals.
Yeah, and Visored is very, very capable of that. This DPS line is very, very dangerous. And that wouldn't surprise me, but low ground main has a lot of dangerous tools in their own pockets here. So this is going to be a very, very interesting way to do this, particularly because Visored loves to play that dive comp, and low ground main, they want to push it the other direction on the ground.
Get a look at the other side of course. This lineup looking like Pred Kind on the DPS line, high quality on the tank. Saucer, Swag Daddy in the back line. Still, of course, another very strong roster here that fell short a little bit. But, like you said, this team is still so strong. Both of these teams are Visored and low ground main, both very, very close in the skill level. So I'm really looking for these two rosters to have a very, very close matchup.
I agree. And considering both of these teams are hungry for revenge, considering, like you noted, how early they fell out, there are grudge matches to be had if for whoever goes on. So I have to imagine these comms are very tense. They're going to be very, very uptight as we begin to load into Oasis. So I don't envy any of these players in these positions, especially with these bans. We're going to have to see, what this kind of did, and if Visor's map pick really does kind of set it. Because like you said, Oasis is a bit of an oddball. Usually this is not fall to one of those first picks that a lot of people want to do. And considering we're going to be starting here in University, this is probably the one map that favors the brawl that low ground main really wants to play. Both of them highlighting the Zarya here, but in two a little bit of different ways. We're going to see the Wu Yang come out on either side. We'll see if low ground main wants to run the Brig to help protect. But I do think that Visored with this Genji Sojourn backline, like that's kind of just what they do. They're playing those characters that they have been playing all season, and they are so good at. And Alex is just going to be very dependent on letting Easy Clap get into the backline there. Whereas low ground main carrying this Brig in the backline, that tells me they did their research and that they're expecting Easy Clap to kind of get on those flanks. Kind now going over to the Venture. Also, I like that. That's your target when you don't have Reaper for how do you draw the aggro and get Zarya to high charge. So a little bit more of a standard comp out of low ground main. They love this brawl and they are ready for it.
And of course, I mean, you see both these teams going back to the Kiri over the Wuyong as well. Kind of getting a little bit aggro here, popping out, getting that bubble from the Zarya. Drill dash out to safety. So a little bit of early charge out in here for high quality. Ethan watching these flanks. Of course, the map has been flipped. You saw that just long rotation from low ground main as Kind gets a pick, heads up to the high ground, burrows in, gonna pop out. Will be their control of this objective here.
Yeah, again, low ground main just have a little bit more of a pokey comp, and while Ethan had the high ground in there and a little bit more of the ways to kind of control those angles, it's very difficult when low ground main just walks in on the opposing Zarya there. And in fact, so much so that Alex will give it up and go to the Winston. We're in a full dive now, so watch for Visored to get a little more aggressive, probably onto the Brig, as they are just the sole target that is just easy to collapse onto.
And looking toward that Brig now is Alex here. But it will be Ethan that actually finds that first pick here in this fight. Ethan rotating up to the high ground, but takes a swift shot to the dome. 12 health, backs away, but high quality tracks Ethan down. High charge here for this Zarya. And without that Sojourn, you see Visored wants to play very measured.
Yeah, they have no reason to push here. They have the high ground control, which is the best spot for this dive comp to be in. But the problem is, again, look at how far back the Brig is protected into that. They're going to have to kind of depend on these soft dives. Even giving up that cleanse so early is big. Fred has the angles now, though.
Yeah, here we go. Fred on the off angle, has to slide away. Ethan with an overclock of their own. Can they get rid of anything? These Sojourns both having to play incredibly safely. We see Kind getting rid of one. It is a trade, though, for high quality. The Tectonic Shock down. Gonna find Shadow Killer. So without that Kiri, it's going to be up to Alex the carry with this Primal Rage to try and stabilize this fight. But unfortunately, Alex and Gushway are fearless.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, the only carry was back to the point to get control for now. Low ground main just realized they don't need to cap it in one. And that's the right call, considering they did kind of come out the victor for the overall in a lot of those trades. They did commit several ults into it, but they kind of got the best of it now with Grav and Kitsune rush up. Scraggy's sound barrier becomes the most important thing here. You almost can't use it aggressive for easy claps. You have to save it for this Graviton Surge.
Well, there is the Grav sound barrier, the answer. High quality already back in this fight with almost 70 charge. An easy clap pulls the blade and receives the, we'll call it the normal experience there for a Genji pulling blade in the middle of a team of 5. High quality, seeing that Winston jump down and no Primal Rage this time to extend the life. High quality, moving toward these supports, and this is low ground main well in control of this point.
I mean, it's really easy for me to sit here on the sidelines, Fletch, and just say like, oh, it's a comp difference. But that kind of really just was the most of it, unfortunately. You know, the Zarya Venture combo just doing so well with the Brig in the backline to help keep the Sojourn flexible and, you know, again, get those bubbles, just keeping them so far, just keeping them, you know, a flexibility to stay alive, but also play and peel for each other. Whereas this Visored comp, you know, they were committed to a full dive. They were very much all in on getting in on the target, and you can't necessarily play that offensive dive into it. Easy clap is going to vanish into the void for a moment, but we can, that's fine. I do see that 3 of the players from the side of Visored, I believe that is, have not died. Most of that being the backline there, who did not take any deaths. And I think that tells you about how good not just the peel is, for that team, but how good the communication has been, just knowing where do those Zarya bubbles need to be, where does the Brig need to use that flail, and just where can they use their abilities safely to make sure that everybody gets in and out alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a little bit of an ordeal to get rid of, you know, the Brig, the Venture for sure, especially with those bubbles. I mean, Pred has been playing like a maniac on that character. Enabled very, very well by high quality, timed very well with those bubbles. With as little burst damage as the Visored composition has, it's so hard to dislodge that Venture, and we saw the effects of that there. They're relying on the Sojourn to try and take care of the Venture. Unfortunately, with the bubbles, with everything coming through, it's so hard to dislodge that character. But a bit of a difference of composition here heading into this point.
I mean, the Lucio isn't necessarily doing you any real advantage for Visored, so I do think that makes the most sense here. You're getting the Wu Yang, which gives you a lot more damage, flexibility, and safety, plus a little bit of peel. So I do think that if you're going to try to stick on this dive, it makes the most sense. But you know, low ground main, they are going to play this. They already have the high ground control, and with Pred hitting that shot means that they are not going to be dislodged from that high ground.
Now, it was good that Ethan found that headshot on to Kind in turn. And that will actually put Visored in control of this objective. And you see these low ground main players trying to back out. Visored doesn't want it, but they're going to have to give it up here.
Yeah, I mean, it was the correct patient play on the dive. Pred opens it up again. And this is kind of that point for the Sojourn players, right? Like, you need to, you know, hitting that opens up your team to go. Pred hit good for a second. And I think that's kind of all you need to do is if you're low ground main, just let your hit scan do the work.
Yep. Of course, Ethan was able to find one on the other side here, but Pred with two is greater than one. I don't know if you know that, so it will put low ground main in control.
I mean, I count to 4 for a living, so I do know that, Fletch, but I do also know that ults are coming online. Rally looking like the first, but just in a general sense, low ground main has been doing a little bit more damage and kind of using their abilities a bit more for value. So they are leading most of those categories, including particularly the Kitsune run, the Kitsune rush, which, you know, Swag Daddy's almost, you know, twice the way through. So I think this fight is going to depend on whether Swag Daddy can or will commit the Kitsune rush here.
Well, I mean, it's Ethan. This Battle of the Sojourns has largely dictated this map so far. Pred and Ethan trading kills left and right. Now trying to dislodge this Diva. Ethan almost with that overclock is ready to go as the Kitsune rush comes down. Ethan couldn't have that, and you certainly can't have a Winston pancake on this objective. Low ground main, after a great Ethan pick, just kind of pull that out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's very interesting because we're seeing that these first bloods really aren't making the difference here. Usually that's like a great indicator if you're going to win the fights, but it's lately just kind of fallen into for this match, you know, who is using their ults at the right time. And thankfully for Visored, they have basically all 5 up. So their goal is just not to overuse here. They want to try to get what little they can out. They want to try to get this win for as free as they can.
Well, here's the title blast. That Kiri going to jump away, but Shadow Killer more than happy to meet Swag Daddy on the objective. Take care of their mirror image. Pred rotates around, but this is going to be exceptionally difficult to bring back. They're just trying to get every bit of percentage that they can before the objective flips.
And they'll get into overtime. That's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's fine. It was also a very cheap fight for Visored, though. You only sent Tidal Wave, and you still have 4 more going into this. You are still technically leading in the ult economy, which is huge for you. That gives you, you know, at least another 2 fights that you can make this out. The question mark to me is, how is Pred going to do with this overclock? Because it shouldn't win this fight alone, but it can do a lot of damage if he starts hitting like he has been.
All right, well, there is the aforementioned overclock. Largely denied by the bubble here as the OC comes out from the other side. Some nice shots. Pred barely able to get away, and the damage mitigated of the overclock there of Pred. Ethan, of course, it didn't have much of an impact of their own, but force the issue, push them back. Easy Clap looking for the Dragon Blade now, maybe gonna follow up with this Kitsune rush.
It has to be after.
Swag Daddy trying to find something, but it's Pred right here with the nice shot. Self-destruct, get back into the mech. After the D-mech, but Pred with a second, looking for a third. Gonna get it, gonna find it. Will be
Pred.
a beautifully done fight here by Low Ground Main.
Wow.
In the face of so many ultimates. They're gonna weather that storm and take map 1.
I mean, it helps that 3 were sent in to trade for the overclock, and you know, it was worth it because it forced the disengage. But I mean, Pred does not care. Pred will disengage and come back and win on their own terms. I mean, 4K at the end there is huge. Like 3 with shots, one with the bubble. But I mean, Pred has just been sharpshooting in game 1. I think that is something you have to be very, very clear of. Just with how this have gone, Pred has stayed on the Sojourn, and if you're Ethan, the counterpart, I think you have to kind of acknowledge that, look, you are not getting the better end of this Sojourn duel, and maybe you just kind of need to opt out. It has not worked into you. Maybe you can take something else or force this team to some place where you don't necessarily get value out of Sojourn, because Low Ground Main kind of owe Pred a thank you card for how much that lift has been.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to understate the impact that Pred had on that map, especially the second one. It was kind of also was exceptional on the Venture in the first sub map, but it really was just a proper situation, right? Pred go kill 5 and just hope for the best, and it worked. It worked on map number 1, but Visored know that now, right? It is worth noting that Visored has beaten this team before.
Yes.
Or no, Low Ground Main beat
Low Ground Main has
Visored.
won over Visored, yes.
So you know, these teams have met up. It's been a long time, right? But they've got to be able to adapt. It's one player, right? If you can shut down that one player, right? Of course, it could create some issues in other places, right? It could show cracks in your own lineup if you try to focus everything on Pred. But damn, Pred is good right now, right?
Yeah.
He's locked on. He's locked on to these shots so effectively, and it's going to be difficult if you can't shut him down.
Yeah, I mean, Pred is just head chef right now. He's cooking. He is straight up just demanding. He's lobby admin, whatever else the kids want to call it. Like, it's just hard not to just respect that. But there is going to be a little bit of a force to respect that from Visored's map pick. After seeing what they wanted to do here, I get this entirely. We are going to go to watch Point Gibraltar, which to me, like checks out 100%. Visor wants to play dive. This is exactly where you go when you want to play dive. I don't know what else to say. It requires a lot of high grounds to maneuver. It really kind of does require a lot of these flanky heroes to get value. And the other thing is that it is kind of harder for heroes like Sojourn or Freya or Ashe to really get a lot of value unless they're set up and protected very well. So I do think map-wise, this is a good pick for Visor. I think it's just going to come down to what bans, kind of go with this, because I don't think we need to follow this up with a Sojourn ban. Like, even if Pred forces Sojourn, you can still kind of play against this and kind of force the Sojourn away. So I think this is a good, like, tactical piece that you don't need to commit the full Sojourn ban right now.
I want to get your thoughts on something as we get ready to head into the ban phase here for Visored up first. Do you just ban a tank?
And just protect your Winston? Yeah.
Protect the Winston here. I feel like that's just how we have to do this if we're Visored, right? The Winston is your win condition. It's why you go to watch Point Gibraltar. And if that's taken away here with the first ban, if you do throw something out as a Sojourn ban,
I was right there with you, Flood. I was like, oh yeah, let's get rid of Diva, because that's like the obvious anti-Winston tech.
I don't like this ban, so I really don't.
I don't. I'm not crazy about that. I maybe we're protecting a DPS for a reason, but that's fine. I mean, low ground main just immediately take out Winston, right? Like, there's just no world they don't do that in response, because this is exactly like what Visored wants to do. They want to go play Winston on Gibraltar. I just don't see any other world where, like, maybe we take the D.Va if we're somehow afraid of that, but like we just get rid of the Winston question mark. I can't imagine anything else.
Okay. Hey, never punished. never punished. Of course, the Ana is a little bit annoying if you're trying to play those really classic dive compositions.
Sure.
Like Ana Brig. I think Carry
Sure.
Lucio is generally better though.
Yeah, like
these
there's
days for sure.
Yeah.
So these bans are kind of strange. I don't know if it's what I would have gone with, but neither of these teams are particularly worried about the other team's bans, it feels like. So
yeah.
Sure, I suppose.
Well, okay, so if you're expecting low ground main, if you're low ground main, like, you're probably gonna run maybe the Zarya back. If you're Visored, I mean, I guess maybe we do know that Shadow Killa is like an Ana player. They prefer to play that. Ana does get a lot of value when you have to kind of hit these sight lines. So I guess I see it, but like you said, like, Kiri's just way better and enables your DPS or your supports to go, like, add additional value by winning duels. So I'm not fully sure on that.
Okay.
Nah,
yeah, get back and spawn, Alex. Get back and spawn.
They're going back to D.Va. That's fine. They're playing so Visored's going to play the poke here. They're going to play the more slower kind of poke with the Ashe. Pred, however, locking, like, Pred over on Ashe to match doesn't give me much more confidence. Like, Ashe isn't going to necessarily hit a bunch of headshots and just one-tap you, but with how Pred has been shooting, like, I don't think you're going to win the duel just from what we see. We'll see if the Baptiste sticks around. I think that's the interesting piece to me from low ground main. Because I do think the Wuyang...
Oh my god!
Wow. That's Masters, baby.
That's good.
That's Masters.
That's good.
That's Masters tier, baby.
So that's a really, really good shot. Why did he jump so half? Why did he jump?
I got nothing for that one. That was properly punished.
Shot. Yeah,
that was properly punished.
Pred with a death of their own, of course, going to be a little bit harder to punish that with spawns being so close. But some nice shots this time coming from Ethan, of course, in the mirror once again.
Yeah, Ethan has been, like I said, Ethan has been a little bit losing on the duel, but now, like I said, maybe with Pred off of the Sojourn, maybe you're feeling a little bit better about winning the duel. I don't think
oh
that's
my
wrong.
god.
Yeah. Well, Pred just absolutely just dunked on that statement, so yeah, I'm still concerned about that, Fletch.
I mean, here's the thing, is that the story perpetuates itself from the last map. These first picks are, you know, they mean very little in the long term of this fight. Pred, of course, finding a second later in the fight, pushing the objective. So finally, Visored will be pushed away for the moment, but it's not comfortable.
No, I don't think you're happy with that. Also, are slowly coming online, and I mean, the Bobs are still far away. Self-destructs are here, but I mean, we already have a window coming up from Swag Daddy, and that can do a lot of damage from the safety of that hidey hole.
Well, here is that Amp Matrix, and oh my god.
I mean, the Ashe is just getting so much raw value out of that, too. Beautifully done.
They capped Soav.
Oh, there was not even a touch. Oh, beautiful. What a C9. What a wonderful C9, Fletch. What a wonderful C9.
That's why I stopped talking.
It took me a minute because I thought you were going to talk about the pick there, and I was like, oh.
No, they just didn't touch.
I assumed we were touching. I assumed we were playing Overwatch and touching the point. No, you're 100% correct there. That is, well, we call that a whoopsie doodle in my world, so we'll just go with that. Kitsune Rush is up for Visored. That's the good news. You can get a lot of value with that. You just need to make sure you actually are set up for it, because right now Visored is a little bit all over the map, and they need to get this spaceship control again.
Check NPC. Pred is hitting some ridiculous shots right now.
Yeah.
Kitsune Rush down, and self-destruct as well. Kind gonna get back into the mech. This is creative. and they kill Swag Daddy. What is happening? There's trades, of course, but like they're not good. Bob in from Pred to be that extra 5th player, as
Great
the touch
positioning for Bob,
will
though.
come through. Kitsune, or rather the Dragon Blade pulled, will not quite demech Alex because of the Tidal Blast. A well-timed ultimate there from Scraggy would have lost that mech to the Dragon Blade. So now this is looking very, very comfortable here. Late fight for the side of Visored.
Beautifully done. Yeah, again, those late ultimates just really did a lot of work. And like you said, it was a very kind of everywhere fight, very scrappy. Visored had that initial control of the spaceship, but just kind of opted to kind of give it up and respect. We saw a lot of those ults kind of go sideways, and you know, low ground main tried to get aggressive, and I think that's where they actually fumbled it. They should have stayed a little bit more defensively and waited for Visored to step in a little too far and punish it, especially when Pred, you know, doesn't have the space to hit shots, doesn't have the angles, like can't play from the bottom. I think you kind of have to play to your defensive here.
You're looking at this
Blade,
objective,
Blade.
you know that they're there. Blade ready to go. Saucer with the rally here early. A couple of players down because Pred, of course, again hitting shots. Now, there goes the rally,
3.
but Easy Clap does not have any more dashes to use. Pred again, a hat trick, beautifully done, and they push through to objective C.
I mean, remember what I said about low ground main not having the angles for Pred to really shoot? Well, guess what happened? They pushed up, they Visored respected, got out of the way, and Pred suddenly had angles, hit shots, nailed his dynamites, and got as many people on fire, and just hit the beautiful 3-piece there. It is a Kitsune rush with a self-destruct coming up for Visored, though. They do have corner control, so I expect it to come down main here, and they should be able to get full advantage of this, hopefully, versus the window.
You see Alex trying to pressure this high ground, looking for an opportunity, but Shadow Killer cannot die here. Does get the swift step to escape. Pressure not really being applied to the objective, but to the high ground. Ethan with a nice headshot, self-destruct. Shots very, very strong, especially now that the pressure from Pred is out of the way. So Visored will be able to lock in here with just under 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, thanks to that corner control they were looking for when low ground main tried to push up and take that angle to kind of get away from those bad sightlines and get some good sightlines of their own. They got punished for it, and Ethan was able to free fire in, and that's been kind of the story is when these Ashes are not pressured, they do stuff like that. They make shots.
Yeah, Ethan this time getting the first pick with a Bob ready to roll. Dynamite down, gonna find couple afflicted. As Bob could throw it down, Pred looking for the shots on the other side now. Nobody wants to give this Ash anything, but Pred is gonna take it by force if necessary. Kind pulls the Dragon Blade now. Bob invested here by Pred, but Ethan coming up huge against the Dragon Blade. Of course, it's gonna be tougher without Alex in the fight. Bob putting so much pressure from the other side. Self-destruct being thrown down. Scraggy actually getting caught out. No shield to speak of. Shadowcola has to use the swift step to get to the high ground. Rally ready to go here for Saucer and Shadowkilla out of the way. Saucer incredibly low. Has to pop that rally for the short-term sustain, even though that's really not how you want to use it, but that's just okay. Because Saucer going ham with that whip shot. Scraggy dropping the rally of their own, finding one of their own. Gonna get the stun there on to their opposite number. Alex does die after using that self-destruct. Not quite in mech as Pred looking for some shots. Turns attention toward Shadowkilla, gets rid of it. High quality now demeched. It's the spawns coming in very, very clutch for this Visored squad. Need to find something here for Alex. At least need to sustain. Cannot afford to get off of this objective. They only have the one ultimate. Easy Clap coming back with a Dragon Blade. Saucer taken down. Shield broken. Ethan with the headshot. Kind now finding a headshot of their own. The Dragon Blade pulled. Try and stabilize. 22 seconds left, and finally Visored will be able to relinquish the grip of low ground main.
You had smart disengage at the end of that scrappy fight, just recognizing, look, we don't have an answer for Dragon Blade, so let's get out of the way. Alex, I believe, had to remech there just to get it back. Saucer's coming back with a rally, though. They get aggressive on this, they win. They take out a support, it's over.
Yep, and you see Scraggy was able to escape there with that shield bash, but Pred with a heady. High quality with an excellent trade. Now, neither of these teams have a diva. But it is the rally Dragon Blade. The Dragon Blade was a little bit of a flourish there, but the rally asserts low ground main. But it was so damn scrappy here. So there was really a chance there for Visored to hold that, and they did for a while anyway.
Yeah, they burnt a lot of time off that clock, and that was, well, they needed that if they were going to go into this. Considering this was Visored's pick, you know, they needed some sort of a victory, something to go their way here, because low ground main, we saw them brawl, but they have shown that they have, again, they understand their win condition here. It's Pred. Pred is hot today. Pred is clicking heads, and they understand that if we just play our poke game and just continue to work the comp like how we want it and get Pred in good lineups, we can do that. It, again, comes down to these hit scans. Ethan and Pred have both been shooting so well when both have the sight lines and the team support, but low ground main, I mean, job's not done yet. You have to still get a stop here.
Yep. And I mean, Pred has been doing a good job of shutting down Ethan. You know, 7 deaths is really nothing to sneeze at.
No.
But it's like, you look at the impact that Ethan has had. They're having to focus Ethan down, right? And has been finding a lot of shots and creating space for Visored to work. And, you know, those you know, opportunities are kind of few and far between when you got a guy like Pred on the other side with the headies so much. So you're looking for Ethan to continue to afford you that space as we move into the attack.
And a lot of that will also come down to these tank lines, the Divas, Alex, and High Quality here. Both of them really have to make sure that they are protecting and peeling and keeping these dynamites out of the skyline. So a lot of pressure on these tanks.
Okay. Fred looking for the opportunity. Ethan not giving it to him here. Now, rotating around. It doesn't quite have the timing there. Some very Valorant-esque timing. Both just not quite seeing each other, and Kind now getting very aggro.
That was too.
That was a little too much, especially into a brig. You're just not going to be able to get away from there as soon as you don't have that deflect, and it will be a very, very quick fight win here for Visored.
Yeah, a bit ambitious for Kind to take the 2v1 there, knowing that the brig was protecting. Even if you did, like, you needed to save that and get out here. There probably won't be a... looks like they're going to hold her. I don't think there's going to be a touch here. No. Oh, they will throw the Genji at it.
And of course, Kind
already down.
Yeah, dead already. And now Pred, you know, has been so good when afforded the opportunities, but when everybody else is dead, everybody can turn their attention to you. So nothing going there, as the touch does deny about 30 seconds, but no more.
Not worth it. Like, I get we had to sacrifice the Genji to try to get a touch, but the Genji was going to immediately melt. You're going to take this fight in, you know, worse conditions, so it was basically a lost fight the second the Genji entered in. But the good news is that this means a new fight can start. Visored does not have, they are going to have to contest for this. They looks like they are the numbers on the spaceship, and with that early Kitsune rush, low ground should just disengage and just take the next fight.
Well, it's going to be exceptionally difficult to do that with where that Kitsune rush is, a very creative Kitsune rush, and it will assist with Scraggy getting rid of Kind. This Genji continuing to be punished for some overextension. A nice little eat on the dynamite there, as intentional as it was. Bob being invested now. Self-destruct. Gonna get this diva back into the mech. Pred getting aggressed on here. Will fall here. Easy clap. Able to track down the Ash. The shots can't be perfect all of the time, but 60 HP is really not much. Self-destruct invested. Will be able to take down Alex on the way out. So it will force this side of Visored to play it safe. The stragglers need to live.
I mean, one on ults there. I love that Easy Clap is actually getting onto Pred now. That's the right call. You just need to keep denying Pred the ability to do this, and that's a great task for the Genji to have. Low ground main still did manage to hold on to a Dragon Blade and their Bob. Ethan gave theirs up a little bit earlier, so Pred with this Bob is probably the difference maker. It's going to cost the rally from Scraggy, but I'm just going to be concerned, Fletch, because these players are getting punished for getting out of position very, very early.
Well, here is the Dragon Blade from Kind, and punished again. It does finally get a little bit of value. There is Bob knocked off of the high ground, and that is actually fine because Pred is up here alone against a Brig, has to hit some shots, has to break the shield, and finally you back down. Scraggy not going to give that Ashe any more chances to get in there. But now Pred, as a result, will have the sightlines once again.
Yeah, Pred on top of this spaceship now means that they should be able to aim from wherever they need, but you can see they're getting pressured dangerously low. Yeah, Pred's gonna barely get out with their life. Wow. Easy Clap has Blade. There's nothing in the way. That's the only tool here that has to win.
Oh yeah, there's Dragon Blade, and you see Pred is so low, having to play this fight so safely. Does not want to die, but it just seems like everybody else is. So I mean, Pred will survive the engagement, but that's not a good thing. You know, if your carry is the last man standing, there's just not much they can do.
Now Swag Daddy will be the late stagger there as well, which does not bode well for the regroup, which means Visored will take a bunch of space and have this all-important corner sight lines. You'll see it on the front there. Shadowkilla does have the Kitsune Rush up. It's kind of the only thing besides Saucer's Rally. So this Rally is going to get spent into it. So now I'm looking at Ethan. Ethan with this Bob probably has to be the fight winner here if there's a chance for Visored to win with time to spare.
Wow, an incredibly confident Kitsune Rush there. Not the place where I would have taken it, unfortunately, but will get punished. So they will be out one of those big, impactful ultimates where Swag Daddy damn near's got one of his own.
Yeah, Swag Daddy now flipping the tables with one of theirs. You know, I did get Rally out kind of like I had hoped, so that is at least something. So now, again, with Ethan having this Bob, it's kind of up to Swag Daddy to see how they use this. They're going to have to use the Kitsune Rush early to try to force out Bob, and then try to get the position so that the Bob doesn't get value. So expect low ground main to maybe disengage here until their Bob comes online.
Well, I mean, with the way that Pred is shooting right now, that will not be long for this world. I mean, Shadowkilla is not long for this world. A couple of very well-placed shurikens put that Kiri away, and the deflect will keep them up. So it will be a very nice measured fight that really wasn't all that expensive.
No, that's fine. You are happy to stall out some time for the price of a Kitsune Rush. We're basically even with the exception of Scraggy and Kind here. So if everybody trades ults and we see these divas use their self-destructs to get their mechs back, it's kind of going to be the question of, does Kind go too deep and get punished here into Scraggy, and are they tracking
Wow,
the rally?
Bob, and unfortunately,
Okay.
Kind knows where Bob is, and as a result knows where Bob isn't, so pulls the blade in a safe position and ends up grabbing 2 kills for the road, and now this starts to get really uncomfortable for Visored.
Yeah. I mean, you do have a Blade Rally and Self-Destruct. It was, again, a relatively cheap fight for low ground main. It was just Blade, but whew, what a shot by Ethan to balance that out. Visored has to go, and they're going to have to commit these tools right away. I want to see Rally popped and get aggressive here. You have to take advantage of his numbers right now.
Yeah, you have tools. You need to find something with those tools early. You need to use them because Pred is coming back, and it's going to be a 6v5 before you know it. The Dragon Blade pulled. Easy Clap. Very low, but they're going to be able to get rid of high quality before the remake comes through.
That's huge.
Even being as measured as they were, not exactly how I thought it would have gone, but that's exactly how it needed to go for Visored.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best case it was going to be. That Self-Destruct was used a bit defensively towards the end, but it did everything it wanted to do. We forced the Rally on point to try to deny, anybody stepping. We allowed Easy Claps to go in with that Blade and try to get value, who caught the supports out of line. So beautifully done. Just kind of caught low ground main looking here, and this is what I was expecting out of this team. Visored is still very good. When they get to play their dive, they still do look like a great team, and that's how you know they were one of the higher seeds, is just by this play here. They were able to kind of just basically kind of fear this victory into success here. Again, great call from Kind to try to get value with that blade. Both of these Genjis have been playing well. These these DPS lines are really making or breaking these fights just on their ability usage and their ultimate usage.
I mean, it's so
21 and 7 for Easy Clap. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they just adapted, right? You look
exactly
toward what the other side was doing. They were relying on Pred to do a lot, and I mean, Pred, mid to long range hit scan. It's hard to take care of the Genji in your face when you're having to hip fire in your face, right? It's so difficult, and Easy Clap knows that, so trying to take advantage of it. The Widowmaker shot this time. Not gonna find the heady on a Scraggy.
I respect that Visored is just playing this back and just giving the corner. I think that's the right call here, especially since low ground main is basically matching for the most part. We're just mirror comps now. I think this is the right call. They just need to not give up so much space on this cart. They need to put the stop down because that's one fight for the side of low ground main.
Yeah, and that immortality field already having been expended, forcing Swag Daddy off of the high ground. Alex taking a couple of shots there. You want to see the counter dive finally looking toward that opposite number diva. Alex getting pressure now, has
spot.
no defense matrix, can bail back, will bail back, gonna drop down to the low ground. Can they keep this diva in mech? That is important. They do keep Alex in the mech as they await Ethan's return.
Fred did get a shot here, but Visor just acknowledged, look, we need to make one stop and we have time of our own. This just can't snowball out of control. Ults are starting to come online, and Shadow Killa is leading.
Oh my goodness,
with that Fred going down there, that means Visor have a chance to stop here with this window coming up.
Yeah, the Amp Matrix going to be so pivotal. Here is the Amp Matrix going to get rid of that immortality field swiftly. Shadow Killa was dived, was past tense. Swiftly dispatching of Kind. A nice couple of headshots there. Saucer with the saddest rally you will ever see. 4 dead players around them and nothing going. They get it to the end of A, but no further. It will be a little over 100 seconds here for the side of Visored.
Yeah, I mean, about as good as a pick as you want it to be. I mean, just looking over these numbers, you can kind of tell everything's fairly good, with the exception of Scraggy. A little bit behind on the healing numbers means that they're just, again, it's the struggles of playing the brig, right? If you aren't hitting your shots, if you aren't doing a lot, you know, you are looking kind of low. And Swag Daddy also kind of looking a little bit low, but higher in the assist value tells me that they are more kind of just, again, playing a little bit safely and getting the value, maybe getting a little bit more, just kind of hitting shots as they go. You know, not necessarily putting themselves in a place of danger where Scraggy is constantly under pressure here. The attack out, I mean, we're probably going to see basically the same thing kind of over to the Genji to start on the defense. Seems fine, especially if you expect Easy Clap is going to go back to it. I want to talk about the Malga, but I don't think it's coming out. I really can't imagine that's coming out. I actually don't hate this if the idea... Okay, good. I actually didn't hate that, but we'll see what it is. I do think it's going to come down to, again, just who is getting ultimates built a little bit quicker here, because that was kind of the defining point of the stop, and I think it's going to come down and tell us if Visored win this, is if they can just keep the damage coming in, or if Pred just controls these sightlines and keeps chipping away.
Okay. Pred forced to back down. Ethan in a very safe spot, especially without that dynamite having been applied to Alex earlier. See the dynamite now on to Pred on the other side. They know where this Ashe is at. You see Alex, salivating at the idea of diving Pred, but just too far away. Now rotating over to this high ground. Pred taking a couple of beautiful shots there from Ethan. This fight has opened up as the shots continue to roll from Ethan. Script has completely been flipped here for Visored.
I mean, Easy Claps is just doing very good on following up those dynamites, following up those shots. You saw that dash kill. That's not uncommon for Easy Claps, who's been dominating on the Genji here. There'll be another fight as the cart did not get really too far here. It's kind of in the neutral, especially with Swag Daddy coming back. Now the Kiriko swap's coming in. Ethan is ahead in the Bob. It's worth knowing.
Oh,
but
that gap is gonna get so much bigger. They need to get a touch. They will get a touch here. Just under a meter left to go, but Easy Clap right here, right now, in the moment. 2 picks, both supports kind again punished by the Brig. 1 after 2. Visored locking it down on their map pick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we were celebrating Pred there in game 1, and this one, I think, honestly came down to a lot of Easy Clap here. I think that's kind of the story, is that Easy Clap just dominated from this Genji position, following up on those kills, giving the supports, you know, a lot of the distraction they needed to kind of deny heals and deny a lot of the peel they were supposed to be doing. So kudos to them for recognizing, look, we may not be able to get to Pred, who is just absolutely just dominating sightlines and just hitting shots, but what we can do is we can force the other parts to really kind of test and trim. You know, you don't have to take out the strongest part of the machine, you just have to find the weakness. And right now, Visored, they punch back, they found the weakness. It's basically their attention. It's pulling their attention away and then capitalizing on those mistakes, just like how Easy Clap continues to do.
Yeah, I mean, the distraction game is so strong, man. It really is. Like, you see Easy Clap as soon as the positioning of Pred is known, immediately getting into their face, right? And ultimately, if you can turn this into a 4v4 where Pred is not a factor, whether you get the kill on Pred or not, like, the even fight on the objective with Ethan being as strong as he's been so far tonight, I mean, it puts you in a great spot to win. I completely agree with you here. So now, after 2 maps, we're even, right? This is exactly how I expected this series to go. I think map 1 was a little bit of a wash toward Visored, but now as we head into the break, low ground main, they're going to get a chance to regroup after, you know, a bit of a whiplash type of map. Going to come back in just a few minutes. And when we do, we're going to see who moves ahead in this series. right, welcome back everybody. A series we have indeed Visored able to bring us back to parity on map number 2. We move looking forward, you know, it's going to be low ground mains map selection, and after a couple of Nothing Burger bans last map, we'll see what the plan is moving into Runasapi.
Well, I think we have a couple more options here for Runasapi now that we've kind of seen how both these teams really want to play. Runasapi being the push map where we have a few new sight lines and angles to play through. I do think it's going to come down to first ban here. Low ground main has first ban in addition to choice. And my guess is that we are going to do something like ban Genji and protect Sojourn, because if the goal is get Prej clicking heads, that seems like we kind of kill 2 for 1 by protecting the DPS line and also denying Easy Clap the ability to kind of play on that Genji. We don't know if they have that Tracer in them. They probably do, but we know that the Genji was kind of a defining... Hey, look at that! Look at that, Fletch. It's just easy. It's just Overwatch sometimes.
I wish it was just Overwatch a lot of the time.
It's easy watch. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, good ban. Good ban.
Good ban. A+ ban. Like that.
Yeah. You pass this time, guys.
Yeah. Response is probably a tank. Like maybe maybe we get rid of the Zarya. If low ground main.
I don't hate that at all.
I don't hate that considering map 1 that was like a problem. Otherwise, I don't really know what we're afraid of. Maybe the Diva, but we're not necessarily going to lock Diva here, so maybe the Zarya goes.
I mean,
Lucio?
Like Brig.
Okay, Brig. Yeah, Brig.
Okay, sure.
Visored only matched Brig because they were just kind of losing it. Brig has been a pretty key part of low ground main's plan. Saucer was playing that very, very well, so I don't hate that. That'll just force them over to Lucio, and we'll have to kind of look and then see what happens in the Lucio mirror. I mean, there's a chance we go to Wuyong or Juno, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. So now we get ready to head into our third map. The likeliness of a draw, not too much. I'd love to see a draw one day on push. Wouldn't that be awesome?
It's not impossible. It's just so
not
unlikely.
Impossible. It's just so hard.
Yeah, the bot just has to basically stay there, and it's you know what?
Well, no, technically, it could
technically
stay at the middle. It could stop at the butt scratch on both sides.
Yep. True.
So there's a couple of ways. It's just so unlikely, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be so cool to see one day, though.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we'll see that day anytime soon, nor will we see any subs from either teams. So we are going to be back. Now, the real question to me is, Fletch, what are these teams going to be running? Because now that we kind of have a little bit of freedom to choose here, I kind of suspect that not the team I was expecting to go to the Zarya, but okay, I'm with it. It looks like we're eyeing the Wuyang for both, considering Brig is off the table. Okay. I also do like Pred over on the Cassidy. I think that is the better short range, a little bit more protective option, considering Brig is off the table. And I think Ethan might be a little bit relieved also to see that there's no matching Sojourn. So we'll kind of have to see how these DPS lines kind of difference out. Scraggy did opt into the Lucio. I actually think that makes more sense. Visored love to get aggressive. They want to get into the team with this, and I actually just like it better.
All right, here we go. Map number 3. We'll see how this one plays out as Kind moves into the backline, trying to, suss out where these players are at right now. Alex noting where that Tracer is located. In turn, Alex popping that bubble, not quite getting the value you would have liked to see out of it. Only about 8 charge, and that will swiftly go away. High quality moving into the backline now themselves, as the bot a minute into this fight Feeling very classic Coliseo right now, but finally the bot will be moving, and we go back to the story from map number 1. Those early picks, they just don't matter all that much.
Visored got 2 and continued to disengage. They were up 4-3. I don't know about that one, Fletch. Maybe there was like a little bit of miscommunication because you had numbers advantage and you get the bot control back, but choices were made here. So now with the bot in control of Visored, Shadow is up on the Kitsune mirror, but Pred does have a high noon, so able to tank a lot of that damage. We'll have to see how quickly Shadow aggresses with this, because I think the telling we'll kind of see how this is going to play out if how quickly Shadow throws out this Kitsune rush and where they use it. Oh, right away.
Well, here is that rush straight down the middle. Pred looking for the Deadeye in the back line, but spotted out. They know where Pred is at. They know this Cassidy is located behind them, and they're going to turn their attention swiftly, know where the threats lie. A nice little bubble there on it to the Sojourn to, get a little bit of that charge up, protect Ethan as well, who almost has an overclock. And speaking of ultimates, 4 on the horizon as Visored are able to push around this first corner.
Yeah, but low ground main's holding on to pretty much all of theirs also. I mean, Kitsune Rush may be a bit ambitious, but the Kitsune Rush from the side of Saucer is going to be just a little bit more useful as Zariel gets a run over.
Yeah, 2 bubbles out instantly is never a good place to be in. Cause where the hell were the rest of the Visored players, man?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Like usually, I'm looking at this comp and the Echo is a very interesting piece. Like that's your flex DPS spot. It should go to something like a Reaper, a Venture, something like Echo can technically go in and get that kind of distraction and be a target for the bubbles, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm not really sure because the Zarya, we've kind of seen it a bunch of times, just kind of not really getting charged. But Visored, I mean, they were separated from the fight there, and maybe that was because they were trying to chase kills, maybe a little bit of an issue. It's tough to say because it feels like the Visored pieces are good. It feels like everybody knows what they want to be doing, and it's working. But it feels like kind of an imperfect machine, and like both of these are kind of adapting to what they feel they need to be doing. It feels like we're all just kind of playing on vibes right now in some ways.
That's these lower ranked games, so right. Vibes dictate a lot.
Vibes and comfort.
Yeah,
really do.
It's very a lot of stuff below like GM.
Oh,
might
GM,
be pushing
yeah.
it below GM. Very, very comfort based, and for the most part, these teams are playing good, strong compositions, but there's little quirks, right? That aren't quite as common, but play into what they like. So now we're gonna see this fight up, a strong ultimate fight, but Pred able to dispatch of easy clap so quickly, and there is the title blast, gonna knock down Alex, and a
double
nice
pulse is huge. Wow.
2K pulse bomb, saw that one right before it popped.
Okay, so Kain's got a tracer on him. Yeah, kudos. I mean, again, I do think that we kind of figured that. I mean, you can play Genji, you can play Tracer pretty similarly. It wasn't too cost effective. You gave 2 for low ground main. Nothing really to answer this grab now, unfortunately. And with grab, sound barrier up for the side of Visored. Like,
well, there goes the sound
with
barrier.
grab up, there's still a chance. Never mind.
All right, fair enough, I suppose. See the graviton
Got
surge.
eaten,
Well,
of course it did.
so with sound barrier up, we're gonna find a little bit of damage in here with the Deadeye as well. This is it looked good, but it's just starting to fall apart here for the side of Visored.
Good cleanse. Yeah, no, things just kind of did not go right. The Zarya's gone. We're going to go to Ramatra and low ground main. They are clicking heads. This duplicate, again, so Kitsune supports up. Kitsune rush, sound barrier. We have a duplicate. I actually like the duplicate Kiri or the duplicate Wu Yang here, just because you're going to get those ults. Like, those are very high impact
Someone
ults.
in the back line.
Yeah, someone backline. But I do think that, again, Visored should be able to get a stop here. Surely, Fletch.
Quite see who was hiding out in the back line there. It's Ethan, who is alone. unfortunately. Good job there from Easy Clap to track down it. Kind does lose that duplicated mech. So not going to get a self-destruct off, unfortunately. But it was a good pick, right? They take the pressure off of your backline, but you need to keep pushing your advantage. They're being just way too measured and slow here. You've got to push on where you can find those weaknesses.
I also have concerns because Scraggy's been holding the sound barrier. I know you don't really feel like there's anything to use it for.
Use it here.
This is the moment for. Yeah, I said there has to be the moment here, and that worked out. Good timing for it.
Yeah, and Fred going down. Nice little fadeaway disruptor shot. Oh my god!
Ooh.
Saucer a little bit too clean there. Unfortunately, that one pick, a bit of a highlight play, but nothing consequential for the fight. So Visored will move back toward this middle point. Oh no.
Oh, Scraggy, look, I feel so bad for Scraggy. Scraggy has had so many late picks, so many first picks, so many deaths on a lot of this, and low ground main know that that is a target they can get to, and now Visored immediately has to back up because they have no speed. Annihilation's up. It may just get used defensively here, Fletch, if for no other reason than because Alex is going to get bullied right out.
Well, putting up those arms right now, just waiting for this.
Oh.
Nemesis form to end as Ethan popping the OC, but a nice little fire snipe there from Pred, shutting down the overclock. And you see Kind just taking the bot for a nice little walk while the action was going on, and they're going to push back near the end of this map once more.
That is the worst case scenario. We threw Annihilation at there defensively, didn't get value. Overclock didn't really find the value we were looking for. And now low ground main with a self-destruct, a pulse bomb, and Pred coming into a high noon. There's a lot of offensive tools here. Low ground main just kind of have to play. They're going to play for a moment like that, something they can take a capitalization on.
Okay, pulse bomb not going to find a connection. Nice job distracting Pred there, not quite able to get the dead eye off to its fullest extent. And this low ground main squad, they know they don't have to complete the map. They just need to play it safe here.
Yeah, they have the numbers advantage there at 124. It's at least 2 to 3 fights out for Visored to get that value here. And with high quality, having a mech, they win they stall out a fight a little bit longer, but they don't really have tools to go forward.
All right, Alex able to pop that Nemesis form and track down Swag Daddy. A couple of very strong picks. Great and Ravenous Vortex there to keep Pred from escaping as well. Can they get it back across the middle? So yeah, Pred will get long spawn here.
That's long spawn. It's still at least a fight to the centerpiece here. So there's one fight to clear, and then at least one more. Shadowkiller does have Kitsune Rush up, but that's the only tool besides Annihilation. And I have to imagine Swag Daddy is going to make the difference here on the Wu Yang.
The Tidal Blast doesn't connect, but the Self-Destruct does. Now we're going to see one out from the other side, and they're going to try and use this Annihilation to move into strong positioning, but the cleanse is just coming in too quickly there. They are able to get rid of Saucer, but it's going to be so hard to dislodge this D.Va with the players that remain.
Yeah. I was like, high quality has gotten way too much value out of these self-destructs. Real talk here. At least constantly finding one is way more than the average D.Va player gets nowadays. Last minute fight here, coming into the 1 minute mark. And back into the middle means that low ground main are at least 2 fights, now in a position where like Visored needs to win 2. And considering we're in the neutral with ultimates coming online, Ethan is kind of the savior that Visored needs right now. Cannot afford to lose them.
All right, here we go. Khan with the pulse bomb, looking for it. The answer on the other side. We'll see if Ethan can open this fight up with this OC. Looking for it, waiting, trying to keep this D.Va in control. Easy clap versus Kind in the back line. Ooh, nice little heady there from Shadowkiller, able to come help out with that backline fight. High quality just being so passive, and it's working beautifully. They can't dislodge the D.Va, which means they can't push the bot. Ethan, though, finally able to get rid of Pred, but the Tidal Blast's very strong still. Ethan, nice little fadeaway, couple of shotties there into these stragglers. So it's not pretty as overtime begins, but they will finally be able to break through.
They do break through for now. They may even get this butt scratch across the line, but it's at least one, if not two, fights here, and low ground main will open it off with the high noon just to try to... Is that scaring the Tracer away, I assume? I mean, quickest reload in the West, I suppose, but Kitsune Rush is a little bit faster on the side of Saucer, so Kitsune Rush first use might be the difference maker here. I'm watching that. Easy claps with the Pulse Bomb also could make the difference here. One of these two ultimates is going to be huge.
Well, here is that Pulse Bomb, looking for it, wants it, misses it. Cannot track it down, but here's the Tidal Blast. Looking for the supports, will find the connection. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but Kind still going ham in the back line on the other side. Self-destruct ready to go here for high quality, and you mentioned needs to find something, but cannot get off of this objective. They are able to push it back at these players because high quality knows that they have a very strong dissuasion tactic here in the self-destruct. Pulse Bomb will connect, so will the bomb. Alex is still, trying with those hands up.
The late Kitsune?
They keep touching here, but unfortunately, Scraggy too far away. Shadow Killer can't get there. Low ground main will move in to match point here on Runasap.
Again, another, it's kind of easy to look at game one and game two as very lopsided in the outcomes, but this is, I think, the closer the game that we've seen today. This is exactly what we were talking about when we were saying earlier that these teams were fairly well mentioned. Every single player had moments of pop-off. Every single player just had moments where it seemed like either it clicked or it didn't, or they were punished for what they were doing, or they were, caught off. So the recognition as we get into game 3, 4, and 5, these kinds of marathon games are really starting to wear on us. I'm also just still wondering here, Visored, these kinds of hero choices. We saw the Cassidy come out. I wasn't crazy about it from Pred. I kind of wish we had just stayed on the Sojourn duel. And, Easy Claps' Echo, they eventually gave it up. I don't know that it was getting all the value it wanted either. Easy Claps looked very good on that Tracer, but so, we'll have to see if maybe these are, again, are we just going on feelings and vibes, and that's kind of maybe what we're getting punished on, or if there's some, master plans that these teams have been learning on.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing how we move forward with this series. Of course, map number 4 will be selected by Visored here, and being honest here, so it's not like the map pool is particularly deep for dive.
No.
So I mean, the best dive maps are all escort maps essentially. It's not going to be easy to try and force a dive mirror here. I'm sure you could try. You can go to something like if you want to run a dive and you are dead set on it, I guess you could go to King's Row.
Numbani.
Okay.
Numbani.
Yeah.
Numbani is probably your best shot if you really want to force the dive. I could even make a case for Blizzard World, but Numbani is the kind of typical dive map if you don't have Gibraltar, if you have something else. So yeah, I have to imagine that's going to be the case because the other option is Flashpoint, and none of those really inspire any faith in me. Yeah, those don't inspire faith for me. But a decision has been made, Fletch, and I'm once again left with a face of question marks and concerns.
Yeah, it's Servasa from map number 4.
Yeah.
Now my question is, do you stay on the Diva? Which I don't hate it, right? I don't love it either. You should go to the Zarya. I would recommend playing the Reaper though if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
It's really, really difficult to build up charge on Zarya without some form of a flanker that can tank all that damage, right? Because with Zarya, it's kind of what we've learned over the past few years when someone like Hanbin plays Zarya at a very, very high level. You can't get a lot of value on Zarya in competitive settings if you're selfish, right? You can't
Yeah.
use those bubbles on yourself and expect to get to, you know, 99, 100 charge in an organized setting. That might fly in Masters in ranked, right?
ranked.
But if you were
Why?
looking to, I don't know, man. If you're looking for the Zarya play, you need somebody to be on your side that you can reliably put those bubbles on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, what happened to the Ventures we had earlier? What happened to, I mean, even the Genjis I'd
Like,
take.
Venture is so strong right now.
Yeah, I don't, again, same with the Cassidy, but like, so the Cassidy ban kind of strikes me as, okay, maybe we're doing that. We're getting rid of the Zarya. Yeah, okay. Like the Cassidy feels like an anti-diver, an anti-flanker. Sure, we might send the Ventures, the Genjis there. The Zarya is that kind of last piece like we were talking about. When a Zarya out the picture, low ground main have decided that they are willing to just match the dive. They said we don't even need the Zarya, considering Visored was the one who started out on the Zarya and stole map 1 with it. Like this is like a very interesting turn of events. We've just decided, okay, we're gonna, you know, like, okay, like you want to play dive, I guess we're gonna take away the Zarya. I guess they're just that afraid of the Zarya mirror. Again, these continue to just kind of throw me through loops, and we'll end up seeing something from these teams that feels like an adaptation that didn't need to be.
I'm just sitting here like, why would you be scared of the Zarya mirror? Because every time we've seen a Zarya mirror, low ground main has won.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Like that again, these ban picks just kind of feel out of place. It feels like we're playing 4D chess and we're actually just sitting on a Parcheesi board where it's like, it's just move your guy. Like the answers are that obvious, but that's kind of been this game in a lot of ways. We've seen obvious answers win when it's the DPS line. We've seen DPS just go ham and click heads. And then we've seen teams win on, you know, support lines. We've seen tanks make the difference. We've seen a little bit of everything. So I assume these teams have something particular up their sleeves. Otherwise, I just don't buy these bans. I'm not quite following what it is.
Well, hopefully we'll be drowning in answers.
I would love that.
Not Fred. Fred, you don't drown. You're awesome.
No, not allowed to. Not allowed to.
Awesome, Fred.
No, we're not talking about the Sigma. We're not doing that, Fletch.
I'm looking to the other side first. Red team, you're up.
I mean, high quality. Yeah, look, this is fine. Yeah, the Pred high quality. Kind's gonna go over to Tracer or Genji. Sure, Saucer's not staying on this Mercy. Swag Daddy might actually stay on the Juno. I don't really hate that.
Are they gonna play the Sigma?
I'm sorry. Are they? Oh, they were serious. Oh, they were serious about the Sigma. Oh, I don't.
Sure. Okay.
Why
not?
Fletch.
Why not?
I don't buy it. I need to see a fight win here. I don't buy it because Sigma has some tankability here, and if your goal is let Ethan or Easy Claps just dominate the game, sure. But there are much sturdier heroes than Sigma right now in the meta.
All right, yeah, this is not Circuit Royale, not the place where you expect to see the good doctor here. High quality moving into the backline now, looking to open up some space for the other side. And now this Tracer forced to use the recall. Pred and Ethan trading out picks, but there is the win you so desired. It wasn't like perfect, but it was a job that they got done.
Okay, you know what? I'm sold for the next, 20 or 30%, Fletch. Sigma's still okay. I mean, Sigma is a comfort character for a lot of players. He's just fallen out of the meta, but is very good. You know, the rock stun does kind of shut D.Va down in a different way you might not want to. Plus, then backed up by the Baptiste with the immortality field. And if your goal is to let Ethan and Easy Clap just kind of dominate the DPS lineups, yeah, no, I buy it. That's fine.
Sure, I think it's interesting, right? It's just something we don't see a lot, but see if that success will manage to continue. A nice little bit of damage there in it to the D.Va, but Swag Daddy just able to track down that Tracer beautifully, shoot the floor, a couple of those shots off, get rid of that little gnat. Moving in it to the engagement proper now, as we look towards Shadow Killa, who is no longer on this plane of existence. Little Rock out. Ethan will dispatch of Kind, but This is just going to be them trying to get these stagger kills on the way out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they know there's at least one more fight here for the side of Visored. They are coming into majority of their ults. 5 are live. Pred a little bit behind as we look at the rest of these lineups. And I mean, I got to give it to Visored here. They do have the slightly more sturdy team between Immortality Field, between Sound Barrier. Like, even the Flux can be defensively. I think that in the longer fight, Visored just kind of win on sustain.
Easy claps and kind of looking to, you know, fight there on the low ground as the OC comes in from Pred and not quite going to find a heady here just yet. Shielded off. Great job denying the space there. High quality will have the self-destruct to get back into the mech here. But Ethan with a fadeaway shot, and it will deny the space. They can't get back to the point.
Oh, that's a shame. I say, and Scraggy died. Unfortunately, dying with Sound Barrier, also not able to commit it. Would have loved it there for the self-destruct, but didn't quite get it. The positive is that they'll have this moving to point 2 here, so they'll have the positioning advantage here. As you can kind of see, they'll clog up this choke point, so they should be able to get some value out of Flux and Sound Barrier. There's nothing really in the way. You'll Sound Barrier for Kitsune Rush, so Alex has the chance to actually be the carry here, besides Ethan hitting 1.
Yeah. Beautiful disruptor shot there. Matching of Pred. Been a little bit quieter as of recent. Has allowed these other players for low ground main to try and pick up in that kill feed department. Alex able to dispatch of that D.Va. The micro missiles were going to be really annoying. Nice little rock there as Ethan looks toward the back line. This Tracer so low. Can they get rid of Kind? They can. Scraggy tracking that player down. Ethan under a lot of duress, but a well-timed shield. And a great peel. Absolutely. Easy clap does end up falling here, but here's the Gravitic Flux. Not going to find a player there. But all of this has been going on, and Visored's control of the point has pretty much been unimpeded. Already almost to that 70% mark, so they only need one real fight to come back in here and win this.
Visored did commit a lot into trying to stall that out. They're going to give up the Sigma and match the D.Va, which, fine. I actually did kind of think, you had me as a Sigma believer here, Visored, but I don't hate it. If you can't win, you take the mirror and win that way. That's fine. Support lines, support ultimates up for Visored. They should just surely win this out. Like, you have Sound Barrier for this tidal wave. You surely win this.
Great Sound Barrier,
dude.
But it doesn't
get Shadow Killer
onto Shadow Killer or Alex for that matter. So now you just have to die here. You cannot live any longer than you have because you don't have the time.
Yeah, you want to get one last fight for this. They'll stagger out the D.Va as best they can, and yeah, there's going to be time for one more fight, but again, Visored committed a pretty important ult in Sound Barrier there. So low ground main, they're going to push up. They're going to try to deny this space again. Just great positioning and decision making from them. Shadow Killer might even have to commit.
You have to touch.
I mean, I don't think there's going to be anybody that
can. You have to touch?
Scraggy can't make it. No, there's no touch. There's no one to make it in time. Low ground main just took the space and held it and said, we're not going to let you have this. They want to close this out, Fletch. They are 1 point away from closing it out. Yeah. This is just everything going their way.
Yeah, and so now heading into this final objective, they're just going to lead Alex to his own devices here. Get rid of Scraggy, who will end up switching this whole composition. Kind of turned on its head now.
I mean, I liked that better if we had kept the Sigma, but sure. I mean, Brig is back on the menu, and Scraggy was a little bit more survivable on the Brig, so I do think this makes sense. But 4 ultimates coming in from low ground main, and not a single defensive ult in sight means that low ground main, this is their point. They'll even get it right now and start the fight, but it just depends how much do they want to commit into this.
I need to play it safe. Shots not quite landing there for Pred. Ethan able to dissuade any more pressure for the moment. Building up to an overclock of their own. And what a beautiful stick. Long range going yard there. beautifully done. The self-destruct will not come through here for high quality because they know that this fight's lost. But again, it's kind of exactly what we saw for Visored's last point. Like, they've just been capping for 60% of this point.
Yeah, I mean, also funny, again, a first pick doesn't end up meaning anything, but, you know, that's this game of Overwatch right now. Still plenty of fight here. Ethan does have an overclock up, still nothing in the way of that. So where Ethan takes this fight from is going to kind of decide the outcome of this fate. They can't really afford to give it the chokehold if they want to get any sort of presence on the point.
And I mean, dispatching a Pred early there is incredible, I should say. You see the title blast, gonna look for
looking
the
for
carry.
the huge read.
Oh, great cleanse, gonna drop the Kitsune Rush. Somehow Kind finds the backhand on that kill. But with the self-destruct, getting this D.Va back into mech, it's going to be difficult, right? You still have this Kitsune Rush. Alex still has a bomb of their own, but with 7 HP, can they find it? They will get in, and the D.Va D-Mech comes through there. Alex able to catch high quality is just a pixel of the back of the mech there. Get rid of the D.Va, and they will hop onto this board here on Survasa.
Wow. Again, that seemed like a very handedly low ground fight win. Just from, again, just getting the value. You force Kitsune Rush out. You also get the pick on it. I mean, it just shows you how scrappy these fights have been and how kind of very important target selection has been. Even if you take out the Kyrie, that should be a fight win, but hasn't guaranteed anything. Easy Clap can't get that pulse bomb. It's a dual pulse bombs here on either side, so Scraggy with a rally is the difference maker, and Scraggy cannot afford to be a first pick. That's been too frequent this. Oh, no.
Yeah, just really not much you can do there, unfortunately. Kind. But again, we see a fight where this first pick ultimately not what decides it, because Ethan has decided to take it into his own hands. Nice little shot there into Saucer, very low. High quality, getting that mech removed.
Think I'd ever let you down?
And it will be a Visored fight win.
It really does kind of show you how badly these teams want to win, right? Like, even when the pulse bomb hits, takes out your rally, the real kind of one tool you had, the rest of Visored just says, nah, we're down. We're not down. We're just going to go ahead and get aggressive. So the aggressiveness of these teams really is showing you, because like you'd called out, you know, both these teams kind of playing very, very passive, waiting for their DPS to kind of get a pick and get value for really going forward. And that's kind of been a punish, like a bad statement for either of these teams.
Yeah. So Scraggy having to pop the rally there, not quite landing the stun, unfortunately. Still, though, able to back out, get away, rebuild that shield. Getting some of that Inspire healing in for their D.Va Kitsune Rush down. Of course, you see Shadow Killer has one of their own. Do they need it, though? The answer is no. First pick coming through, finally, meaning something. We're going to see the title blast, and that is not going to mean anything either. Easy Clap does end up falling, but the damage is done here, so.
Yeah, I mean, point is firmly in. Alex gets the last two, and that means we go the full 5 here. Low ground main wanted to close this out, and they just haven't been able to, but it really, I mean, Alex has come to life on this D.Va in a lot of ways, just peeling a lot more, even forcing low ground main to take the full mirror here and give up the support line.
What?
No,
okay.
That was a remake.
Oh
that had to be. That was a remake. That was a remake. Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, "Ain't no way." It's gonna be the dueling of the Sojourns here. Pred, Ethan, both with their overclocks up and nothing in the way. But with Shadowkiller's Kitsune Rush in, like where this goes down is going to be so important. You kind of need to bait this trap out. Just disengage the OC and let them run into you.
Yeah, and I mean, Pred has just been under so much pressure. Those shots not quite hitting like they used to. We're gonna see the re-engagement on the far side. Pred exceptionally low and high quality. They don't have a self-destruct. They can't. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Another.
Yeah, another time Scraggy goes down, but there is still this this jockeying for positioning going on the far side of the map. Alex trying to stay alive, stay in that mech. High quality will not be so lucky. Pulse bomb there, nice onto Pred, and it will be Visored breaking through.
I mean, I don't know, man. Low ground main, they are not winning the mirror here. I know they tried this and it worked over in the map 3. I'm just not crazy on it. Now that ults are still coming online, though, maybe it'll be a little better. I mean, Scraggy has a rally. Saucer's going to be matching that shortly. It's kind of just down now to the longevity of the Divas. High quality has been getting one, but Ethan just opens it up. Never mind. Now it's just down to the Sojourns.
Yeah, I mean, this is just immaculate play from Ethan taking over this lobby. The defense matrix be proving so frustrating to deal with, and Ethan, with the help of Scraggy, this time being the hero of the story. Scraggy with the rally, helping out.
That's
and now
crazy, Fletch.
It will be a reverse sweep, going 5 on Saravasa, going 5 in the series. I would not have had this any other way.
Yeah, these two teams, again, considering it's lose and go home,
They're
I don't
so
think either
hungry,
team is gonna give this up. You can tell all of them have, you can tell they have someone they want to revenge, they want to get that grudge match against, and they are just playing for their lives. Maybe we don't understand it from the booth here, Fletch, but like the decisions they're making are absolutely having so much impact. Even the Alex Sigma there, like, yeah, we kind of questioned it. It was a little memey, but it did everything Visored needed to do. It made low ground question themselves. It forced them into the mirror in the place where they knew they could win. And just, man, what a incredible back and forth between these two teams that are, again, just fighting for their lives.
That play right there, I think is
That's still crazy.
No, that play right there is what set this map back on a track for Visored.
Yeah.
Even losing out on Shadow Killer, that Kitsune rush, and the self-destruct getting rid of High Quality's mech on the back end of that play. I mean, there was really nothing more that you could have asked from Visored in the clutch moments, right?
Yeah.
This is when you needed to play your best. This is when you needed to get hot, and they got hot, right? They are absolutely playing at their peaks right now. Low ground main, they have to respond. They have the final map selection, potential final, because it's going to be hybrid. We could draw. That's a very real possibility on hybrid more than any other map type. So very real possibility. More than likely, though, going to be our final map of this lower semifinals. A very close, like bloody, bruised up match here. These teams clawing for everything they've got. We're going to take a quick break. Let these teams catch their breaths, get some water. Y'all too. Y'all get some water. This series is not over yet, and we'll be back with the epic conclusion. All right, welcome back, everybody. This series, everything that we could have asked for and more. A 5th map on the horizon. Winner moves into the top 3. Loser, their season comes to an end here tonight. And so we are going to Overwatch Incarnate on map number 5. It's going to be King's Row.
Yeah, I mean, Fletch, I don't know that we could have had it any other way. We kind of joke about how, maybe this map is a little overplayed, but when you are on the line like this, I feel like you just kind of gotta go where you've scrimmed and practiced and where you're feeling the most comfortable. So as much as I might normally be a bit of a hater, I get it here. This makes total sense. Yeah,
I generally am like, oh, we're going to King's Row. It's King's Row, we've seen this map so much, Scrims Row, all that stuff. But no,
yeah,
like I agree with you. This is the time where I like seeing King's Row late in the series, where both of these teams will have been well practiced and are well versed on how to play on King's Row. Of course, the plans can have some wrenches thrown into them by these upcoming bans, but this is both of these teams, their season's on the line, right? This is where you want to put everything that you have, fight until you genuinely cannot anymore.
Low ground main, I mean, I think this is a place where you can get a lot of value out of Sojourn, out of Ashe, out of Freya. Part of me wonders if we're going to see like a Sojourn ban, a Diva ban. Yeah, no, okay. I'm fine with that. You are not winning the Diva matchup, so that's fine. If you want to bring this back to Zarya where you won before, that's a beautiful decision from low ground main because you also protect your Zarya if that is the case. So the question now becomes, what do Visored do in response? I mean, it could very well just be the Tracer, a carry, maybe something to deny the value.
Tracer is not in the running because they banned it out earlier.
Venture, yeah.
Venture.
Sure. It's kind of one of those interchangeable pieces though with Reaper. So like you ban plan B as opposed to, but like then again, even when they've had the choice, there's not been, we've not seen a Zarya Reaper. We've seen Zarya Venture. So I guess by what we've seen in this, I don't hate it. Yeah. If anything, it forces them into Reaper, and that's maybe not a preferred pick.
And I mean, honest to God, right now, they're not even all that worried about like the hit scans anymore. So
no.
It's not all that surprising to see it, right? Pred has been a very, very strong player for this low ground main squad all night long, but has been very quiet in comparison to those first 2 maps, I should say, the last couple, right?
100%.
They've been relying on their tank to make these plays high quality and kind, and all these other players where Pred has kind of been silenced. On the other side, though, Ethan has been a maniac.
Yeah.
Consistently. Doesn't matter what character that Ethan is playing, whether it's the Sojourn or the Ashe. Where Pred has kind of quieted down, Ethan has only stepped up.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier about the duel of these hit scans, and Pred was the winner in game 1 and 2, and now Ethan, again, kind of been on that backline, partially to their partner in crime, Easy Clap, who's been in the backline, who has been giving Saucer and Pred so many problems. Kind on the echo here, I kind of buy. I actually don't hate it. This Mercy is going to come out for just the initial dynamite boost and a couple shots, I assume, just so we can try to maybe build up some Bob-based advantages. I don't think this Mercy stays much past like a first fight or a first couple of picks. Yeah. Especially because it's going to be very, very hard to dislodge low ground main. They are all just kind of hunkered back in this corner, and Visored realizes that's where they need to get to.
Yep, Pred gonna drop down to the low ground.
Oh, caught him transferring.
Oh my God. Just a beautiful couple of shots, and now Kind under duress from Ethan. Ethan may very well fall here, but the damage has been done, and somehow, some way does manage to live. The support is immaculate, and they're going to walk through this first objective.
That was a great catch. Ethan just played that kind of, it was a minor bamboozle, if you will. Ethan just kind of sat while the rest of Visored rotated, waited for Pred to kind of move and reposition, and just caught them out. So beautifully done from Visored to kind of punish these very stable turrety based characters. Logard making the swap down Pred, going over to the Cassidy. Sure, yeah, I'm not crazy about it. I think you can still get away with the mid range, but this is generally where you kind of give up the Ashe. The Mercy here staying is actually, I actually don't hate this, because it just tells me, look, we are all in on Ethan carrying this team right now.
Like right there,
right there. Look at him go.
It has been Ethan's game to lose here, as Ethan picks up a third and looking for Swag Daddy, cleaned up by Easy Clap.
Wow.
But hey, all of the chips are on the table. You go all in here, and Ethan is delivering.
Yeah, I mean, you might say it's cheesy, it's corny, whatever you say about it, but like, look at, I mean, hit scan pocket Mercy, it's working beautifully. Ethan's just boosted up, able to chip away the damage. Already has a Bob built up, as Kind now boosted the Genji, just acknowledging, look, I guess I have to do the opposite job here. I have to get on Ethan and distract. But it's going to be going into a 2v1. As you can see, the Mercy is still stapled. Manages to get him, though. That's huge.
Okay, beautifully done there, Kind. No deflect, has to get away, so the res is going to come through here. The Valkyrie will be so difficult for this Genji to dislodge, and here is Bob. Robert enters the fray. Kind able to feed Ethan back his own bullets, but Bob, being that fifth player for the moment, Shadow Killer getting active with the pea shooter, and Easy Clap is there to help. Tidal Blast comes through, Cleanse will deny it. Onto the backline goes the rest of Visored, and Swag Daddy gets rid of that player. Annihilation and the Anti going to be such a nightmare for this Ramatra.
Yeah,
Shadow Killer goes down. They're able to weather the storm, but they're well past this 100-meter mark for Visored.
Yeah, that's a huge, still a very, very big push for what was relatively cheap. Like, Valkyrie doesn't really get a lot of, what you consider pretty low value here, but paired into Bob was pretty big. It did get Kitsune Rush somewhere in the middle of Visored as well, so Annihilation for Alex is really the only big tool they have, and there's nothing, it's going to kind of now depend on the Mercy to pocket that up. Meanwhile, Kind has a Dragon Blade, there's nothing in the way to stop it, and I mean, fastest reload is incoming, but they spotted the Tracer. Surely they spotted the Tracer. Yes,
Saucer knows, and you see Swag Daddy looking back toward that Tracer as well. Dragon Blade invested here, gonna cut down Scraggy, gonna cut down the Mercy. It won't be the Blade that gets the Mercy, but Fred does track it down that kill. Fred gets traded. Ethan is very low, so this fight is going to be incredibly scrappy. It's a 3 versus 3 as Easy Clap comes through on the pincer technique here. Gonna force to be used the recall. And we'll play it safe because these respawns are coming through.
The 3v2 is now live, so they're gonna push onto this. Pred is probably gonna have to commit this High Noon like right away to buy space.
Yeah. Here is the Deadeye. Getting around the corner are these players, and Pred knows where they're at. Nice damage there, able to get that recall off. The Fan the Hammer will not connect. Still committed to this Mercy is Shadow Killer, which is very, very interesting. A little bit slower now, but high quality, able to be tracked down. Here's the Tidal Blast. They're looking at Swag Daddy, and it's going to be very difficult for this Ana to hit these shots point blank on someone jumping around all crazy. Swag Daddy will fall, and now they're looking to maybe get the stagger, but it will be enough to cap.
The consolation prize is all the space they have now. As Shadow is back in the assumed position here, stapled to Ethan. They know the supports are back to the Bob's there. An Easy Clap already hit the pulse bomb. This fight's as good as Overfletch. They'll get a bunch of free space here. No Bob needed.
Yeah, that wasn't a fight, right?
Yeah.
That was not a fight. That was taking advantage of this this positioning, able to get rid of that Ana well before anything can even happen.
Yeah, I mean, Ana and the Saucer does have this And this Nano and the swaps are coming in. We're going to pure hit scan now just so we can kind of get value. The Winston is there to try to get some dive and maybe just survive and touch the cart. But the Annihilation with the Bob means that this is basically over. Those are such high value.
Well, here is the Nano boost, and you know that High Quality's looking for it on that high ground, but Bob is in the front line dealing so much damage.
Bob.
Yeah, I mean, Gatling Gun Bob on the way, and 2 minutes on the clock. Rip and tear. Visored is alive, and they are dominant.
Look, respect to Visored for acknowledging what your win condition here and not being ashamed to do that. There are so many teams that would just sit and say, well, we should play the meta. We should just do, you know, whatever's the strong. Nah. If Visored just said, look, Ethan's got hot hands. Ethan's been shooting great all day. Let's just staple a Mercy to him and let him have it and let him own the lobby. And I think that's the right call. You'll see it here. Just again, with the full support of the Mercy attached to them, just dominating from those high ground angles and able to kind of get those shots and help clean up and set up. And once again, just set up easy clap for easy clean up. Beautiful teamwork from this DPS line.
I mean, that's what I was about to say, right? Easy clap, you know, the damage, I can imagine, not all that high, right? But it usually won't be when you're playing Tracer, right? As we'll get a look over here. Easy
15
clap,
and 1.
Yeah, that's crazy. And a lot of those are final blows because easy clap is just cleaning up on what Ethan's doing. And that's what you have to do, right? Ethan, as hot as those hands are, right? The Ashe sometimes can't get all those final blows that you know you would want, which 7,000 damage, I'm sure a lot of those are final blows, but
Ethan is like Fletch. Ethan is out damaged both the other DPS and the opposing team. Like that's the Mercy boost bonus. Let's be real about that.
Yeah,
but like that shouldn't.
But you have to hit the shots.
Yeah, you're still hitting those shots. Like that's just crazy.
You have to hit the shots, and Ethan
Unreal
is
play.
doing that. Now on the Sojourn. Shadow Killer not opting for the defensive Mercy on the Wu Young. Alex staring down the face of a horse. A horse with a spear. Putting some pressure onto the objective now. They don't want to give up these ticks for free. But it's essentially just Alex on the objective. So they will get the tick. Easy clap, though, in the back line. Getting the better of their mirror image. Kind. Able to get a trade now. Alex looking for the pincer maneuver. High Quality using that spear spin to get out of the fight.
Interesting that low ground main's choosing to try to mirror the same effect with Kind over on the Sojourn this time. To a slightly worse effect here as the rest of the ults are coming online, like Shadow.
I mean,
back on. Oh man, that's
yeah,
over.
you just track down the Mercy, and now this Nemesis form is going to find all the value that you could possibly want from it. And Saucer getting a little bit of stagger. Even Mercy,
again.
no Mercy, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, like this is. Man, Ethan has just been dominating the game. They're lobby admin right now. There's really nothing else to say other than just Ethan has been just sitting freely in those back lines, just getting the shots they needed to, protected those angles. High Quality to the Winston now. We're back in game 1, Fletch. We're just back to the dive. Swag Daddy probably not long for this Mercy unless we're just going to keep him stable to Kind. I don't like it. I don't like it for this situation here. I don't think it works.
High ground control.
Oh, they're just going to run on him. They just run past the Winston.
They're just going to ignore the Winston. They know where the Winston's at. Like, they're just not worried about it, right? It's up to Easy Clap to live here, unfortunately, and Scraggy will not do so well there. But you know, they've essentially won the engagement. Okay.
Mostly.
Very scrappy fight here now as this fight continues. Tidal Blast on to this Ramatra, who also has an Annihilation, but gets 2-8 rush damage boosted Sojourn with an overclock. That's a lot of damage, and so now they're just gonna back off and say, hey, we'll take the fight at this choke because you invested everything.
Yeah, you could see that second we were sitting on Ethan and that pause of watching the Winston go there. That was, you could tell in chat that was, you good over there? Yeah, I've got this. And that Styx is no good because it survives. Now Visored with the ult advantage means that they win this out. And Swag Daddy's going to throw in the Valkyrie. It's not going to be enough.
Yeah. Alex looking for something with this Annihilation, but it's just not there. Easy clap in the back line. Able to get away. Only needs a couple of blinks to get out of LOS. But Ethan, again, first blood in this fight, just chilling so far in the backline, free firing into this Winston. Shadow Killer this time from afar. Now they turn their attention towards this Mercy. They know where Easy Clap is at, is just gonna back into this hotel.
Yeah, I mean, Easy Clap has been managing to maintain those health packs very well, just keeping superiority, knowing and getting them and denying the health there. But I mean, that's just, again, been the problem. Easy Clap just controls these side flank angles, and low ground main can't go forward on it.
All right, well, high quality coming through big. Looking for this dive. The Primal Rage, of course, good for it.
No way.
Able to escape with that that swift step, trying to keep this Sojourn healthy. Unfortunately, high quality able to backhand Ethan out of this fight. Of course, no mercy on the other side to bring it back this time, but it's okay because Scraggy and Easy Clap are able to punish the overextension of those two players. And now the it's like a dive without a dive. It's immaculate because Easy Clap and Scraggy coming together, and that's another player that we haven't really talked a lot about. Scraggy has locked in.
Scraggy's come to life too. I was saying earlier, like, I feel bad for Scraggy, constantly first pick. Scraggy's sick of getting bullied and just said, look, I'm going to play up with my DPS and we're just going to click some heads now. 4 ultimates up for Visored. That is an early Kitsune Rush that's going to get met immediately.
Yeah, I mean, there's the title blast. It's going to find 2, and that engagement is well over. Kitsune Rush be damned.
Yeah, Fletch, Visored have just decided to win the game now. Like, there's nothing more to say here. They are just winning fights. They're playing aggressively. They're holding the space and the angles, and low ground main just cannot get a foothold in anything. Swag Daddy, it's time to get off the Mercy, baby. I respect the hustle. We are past this point now. Even with 3 ults, I don't think it's worth it. You're not living through Annihilation and Ethan clicking those heads. I don't know that this is going to go in your favor, even with this defensive ult on board.
This ends now.
All right, well, we're going to see the OC from Kine. Not as known for the Sojourn on this side, but looking for some more out of that. Unfortunately, they do find the 1 kill, and the Annihilation will force the disengage. Nemesis form still on the horizon here for Alex, but taking a lot of damage here. 48 seconds on the clock, and Easy Clap tracks down Swag Daddy Pred versus Easy Clap in the backline. Get that healing from the Wu Young as the OC comes out from Ethan. Looking for the Winston, but Kind able to track them through the sky. Get rid of Ethan on the other side, and with 30 seconds left, this should be a win for low ground main, but they are being forced to play this so safe.
Yeah, as I say, that was considering the Winston is going and trying to get value here. It's so tough. Last fight territory, high quality does have this Primal, but I mean, Scraggy holding on to Kitsune Rush is everything here. This is probably going to be decided. Watch this Kitsune Rush out, and it's going to force Primal instead, and then we're just going to be even.
Oh, here's Kitsune Rush, high quality. Going to wait until that health pool dwindles away before the Primal Rage gets popped. Saucer, I mean, building up very, very close to one of their own. Can they get there? But Swag Daddy is dead. Easy Claps in the backline. 1v1ing Pred. Can they track this kill down? Swag Daddy still not in this fight. Ethan comes through. Massive shot onto Kind. Pulse Bomb out. Can it connect? It finds some damage into Alex there. Primal Rage with the help of the Kitsune Rush trying to find some more. Trying to put on the Primal Blade, but Easy Clap finds another. 1 player left, and it is Swag Daddy on the Lucio. Visored, our mid-season champions, still in this postseason. They just decided it was time to win.
They locked in hard in the 11th hour, Fletch, and this DPS line, yeah, Easy Clap just shouting out their counterpart. Yeah, this DPS line is a thing of nightmares. They have shown that they can click those heads. They have shown that they can control those off angles, those side ones. Man, that is such a brutal DPS line to come up against. Easy Clap really, we didn't talk about them enough, but let's do it now. Easy Clap really struggled on that Genji in those first couple of rounds. We were wondering about some of those bans. I understand why Tracer was gone. Easy Clap's definitely got a great control of all these flanks. You can see it between getting
Well,
those
here's Easy
Genji
Clap.
picks, between getting the Tracer picks, and that cleanup was just immaculate. This DPS line is doing so much work with the help of the tank and support line. This team has it all together, and they are highlighting some of their best players here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at how this series progressed, what happened on the maps that low ground main was able to win, right? It was Esperanza, it was Oasis. They allowed Pred to have full reign over what happened in and out of those fights. On the 3 that Visored won, though, Pred was essentially a non-factor.
Yep.
They kept Pred in check, who was a lobby admin on those 2 maps, right? Especially on Oasis, and even a little bit into Watchpoint Gibraltar. A lot of the reason that map was so close is because Pred and Ethan were absolutely trading blows. But outside of those 2 maps, right, the 2 or 3 maps, Pred was kept under control by the Genji, by the Tracer, whether it was the Asher, the Sojourn, or the Cassidy that Pred was playing. Easy Claps was just such a dominant force to knock out that Pred. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Just play it safe,
crazy.
wait for your Q to get there, help you out with the pincer maneuver. Beautifully done by this Visored squad, and I can't think of any more superlatives to give this squad about how well they played to close this series.
Yo, and also shout out my boy Scraggy, who also had a very tough game, but then immediately, like, just in those games, 3, 4, 5, just recognized what they needed to do, adapted. And also, let's shout out the Visored coaching squad, because you know what? I don't know anybody who would have said, you know what, we're going to go with an Ash Mercy pocket on King's
Sigma
Row,
and have it look okay.
Yeah, we're going to have a Sigma out there. Yeah, like these choices on paper, you would ask any analyst, any of us here that sit on the desk, and we'd go, you're throwing, or like, what are you doing? This is the wildest thing. But they made it work. They understood the adaptations they needed to make. And once you are in fighting for your life for 3rd place and beyond, you sometimes need to make those very risky calls. So incredible work on the entire team, top to bottom, back to front.
Low Ground Main was the only team that ever took Visored down so far this season, besides that first round of postseason.
Yeah.
They got their revenge, and they're still alive here as the #1 seed, right? Our #1 seed, just in general.
Yep.
When push came to shove, they looked the part.
Yep. 100%.
That was the #1 seed. This was the team that took that mid-season tournament, these last 2 maps especially, right? They needed the ice. They were able to lock it up.
Yep.
So now, as we get ready to head to a break, we're going to talk to a couple of these players from the side of Visored, see how they're feeling moving forward into this lower finals. We've got Alexander, and I believe that's going to be a coach, Mystic,
probably
on the other side of this break. So stick around. We'll get to pick their brains and see how they feel. All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got a bit of a unique one here tonight. We've got two players from either team here at the same time representing our victors tonight, Visored, Alex, and Ethan. And from the other side, Low Ground, Mankind, and Saucer. So I will go ahead and we'll just start with the reps from Low Ground, or rather, we'll go ahead and start with Visored here. All of y'all played such a hard, gritty match here tonight, and you could really feel that none of y'all wanted to lose. So for Visored and then for Low Ground, how are y'all feeling right now after this match?
We're feeling great, you know, like, honestly, Arena Sapi, we thought, like, we all had our doubts that we were going to lose, but then after Siravasa, after our brig swap, like, we just came back, and then we just read the momentum.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just feeling
are
tired, bro. Like I'm actually feeling like I'm about to go to sleep. I'm so tired, physically tired from that game.
I mean,
you're my nocturnal hit scan, bro. You got like
that's true.
24 more hours of ranked. Queue up.
I say you're queuing up right after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that was a wild game. And I mean, considering you guys have fought so hard to get here, let's talk a little bit about these kinds of about the games themselves, because like you said, they were back and forth, but we saw so many crazy decisions from both teams. We saw the Sigma come out. We saw the Mercy pocket on map 5. We saw bans that we were kind of like thrown off by. So I want to start with let's start with Visored. What made you guys make these decisions? These
what
team
happened
calls?
with the Sigma, first of all?
Yeah, what happened with the Sigma?
That's
Let's go on that. Yeah.
I mean, the Sig comp is, I have like Sig's like my comfort hero. Sig and Diva are my comfort heroes. So like the Sig comp was kind of we just want to trust ourselves. And the Sig was working. We actually would have worked if we didn't see 9 on first point. And it actually was a really good counter to their comp, but then they came back with really good adaptations to our comp and played really well to the counter of the comp.
I mean, to Low Ground, same thing. Like, what were those all just adaptations in the moment? Were they like set plans? Were they comfort? Like, where did you guys just kind of end up on these like brigs and all these different, different kind of off meta picks?
I can take that unless you
yeah.
want to kind of.
No, you got it. You got it.
Okay. No, I mean we did the classic thing of just scrubbing through some VODs and seeing generally what they like to play, and we noticed that they kind of can play a lot of different looks, and so we decided to just kind of like play on what we were strong on and adapt to the things that we were having problems with. So early on, we didn't really have, I forget even, what did we ban early? We banned Reaper. Yeah, we weren't even really sure about that on map 1. It was just kind of feeling out what they were feeling on the day and trying to adapt in the moment, as you said, from map to map. Did you want to add anything, Kind?
No, I'd say like a lot of the comps we look at are just sort of trying to imagine at least 1 or 2 maps in advance what the sort of comps might be in the ban situation around those. So we try to play around that.
I mean, I could see it now after we kind of looked back at how we got to where we ended up. It makes total sense. But since we have, we have the DPS lines here, not to discourage my tank and support friend, but like I want to talk about the DPS matchups, because those DPS lines on both sides were just going ham on each other. We were seeing those hit scans trade just constantly. How difficult was it to be in those kinds of duel moments, knowing that like your guys' like first picks were so impactful and so meaningful? Like how difficult was it to maintain that through 5 maps?
Yeah, I mean, on Gibraltar, Pred was actually so scary. Like,
yeah, Pred was
every time I picked him,
dangerous.
I just got headshot instantly.
Yeah, Pred was nuts.
I'm a lot more comfortable in Sojourn, so I can do a lot more now.
I knew we should have banned the Sojourn. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, but on Ash, he's really, really good at Ash, so props to him.
I will say on map towards the end of Flashpoint and basically the entirety of map 5, it just felt like we were playing against Quartz. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was Quartz on the Sojourn. Like sometimes your enemy hit scan just gets a 5k every turn.
Yeah.
It happens.
I mean, yeah, absolute scrap of a matchup that was here, but I know that all of you are very, very tired. It was a long series for us. I couldn't imagine playing in a series like that one. So we'll let y'all go get y'all's rest. But before we do, Visored, Low Ground Main, Alex, Kind, Ethan, Saucer, is there anything else you'd like to say here before we send y'all out, or any like shout outs that y'all might like to make?
I'd like to shout out like the rest of my team. Easy Clappers, he played amazing on Kings Row.
Yeah.
And then Shadow and Scraggy, they're always consistent, always keeping us up. So yeah, shout out to them.
Damn, not even your own tank's getting a shout out. Damn, that's crazy.
Sorry, you're right here.
Damn, that's crazy. I still could have got a shout out, bro. I still could have got a shout out. That's crazy,
I'll
bro.
shout out Alex. I'll shout out Alex for being a very good
That's why I got
tank matchup for high quality, and I'll shout out the rest of my team as well, including
shout out
my
Alex
tank.
for playing Sigma on Suravasa. That was
Yeah, for
really
real.
funny. That was really funny.
That was mind-blowingly fantastic. Like kudos to
I'm also
taking
gonna
that step.
shout out Kind's pulse bombs. Like you were just hitting all of them.
Yeah.
He's feeling snaky.
Yeah, like I said, the DPS lines were on fire today. You guys played an incredible game, and thank you all. I mean, unfortunately, we can only carry one of you forward, but like Fletch said, go on, get out there, enjoy the night, and thank you guys for an incredible match tonight.
Thank you.
Shout out mom and dad.
Yeah, shout out my family. Yo, shout out Prod. You guys carry this.
Yeah,
The
I love
casting
getting
is always
streams
so
every
fun.
single time.
Oh, every time you win and you've been streamed, you get to watch the casters glaze you. Oh, it's so good.
So good. It's so amazing.
I'll remember that.
Right
Look,
now.
I'll remember that when y'all are bullying me in Masters next season. So don't worry.
Nah, appreciate y'all.
All right.
Thank you,
Well,
guys.
y'all have a good night.
Take it easy.
Later.
Later.
All right. So I have long matchup here tonight, but it's Visored that comes out on top. Still a chance to defend their title from the mid-season tournament. Not quite sure who they are going up against just yet. That upper bracket matchup between the Fallen and Atlas Cascus still has yet to transpire. But I for one will be eagerly awaiting the conclusion of this Masters tournament, because if that was for third place, like what the hell is going to happen in that top three?
Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, Fletch, this NA Masters group is crazy. Anything can happen here. Any team can make a statement and come out on top. And, you know, this 5-mapper, I think, is only the beginning. So make sure you come back, check the rest of not just the Masters division, but we've got all kinds of more playoff games coming from the spectrum of NA and EU coming up. Not the Spectrum. Well, the Spectreon, well, I guess will be there too. But I guess the Spectreon of our games, as it were.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you know, as I know many people would love to keep this going, that's going to be it here for us tonight. Thank you all for watching and joining us in this incredible matchup, and we will see y'all in the next one.